he did, for example, destroy my car. But what is the resolution should be? The resolution in Sulh is finding a middle path between all of them. So the offender should have the accountability. He should bear the accountability of his action because he did destroy the car, so he should be accountable for that and pay the compensation that actually the other party want. For example, I don't want the same car. I want a new car that costs the same as my previous car. This is what, as victim, what I want. So the mediator will try to balance my need with the offender accountability to find a middle path solution. This solution should, in the Sulah word, satisfy both me and as a victim because it should heal the wounds that I have as a result of the crime, and at the same time it should teach the offender his lesson, their lesson, because after this they should know that every action has its consequences. You are accountable for it. But another thing that needed to be done is that this compensation should lead to a peace building between them, to restore the relationship, as we said, because it's not only fixing the problem, it's fixing the harm, restoring the relationship. After reaching this conclusion, usually it will be written down, both parties will sign it, and after that they will declare it to the broader community, to the broader family. And it usually ends with handshake, a hug, and sometimes, in many cases, there will be a meal. The offender party will, family will present a meal to the victims' families and to the mediator. So this is how the process in general go. It differs from cases to case, depend on the dispute type, on the people who are involved, and how many people are involved. But in general, this is how the whole process goes. So let me just give you a specific scenario to just make it more closer to to you how to understand how it's going. So let's see, think about this. There is two neighbors. This I will give you a very light-hearted example, and you can use it to imagine how it can go into a broader conflict and dispute. So there is two neighbors. They are fighting over a trees that drop leaves in one and another grass. For example, me and my neighbors, there is a tree that is in my garden, but it leaves drop in my neighbor's house. Usually we fight, we keep shouting at each other that you should stop your leaves from falling into my garden, and I don't want to clean it. But it's not how we should actually resolve this problem. So we brought a mediator to help resolve this conflict for us because both of us have been shouting at each other, we are at each other's throat, and we start to hate each other. And it's not really a healthy to have a neighbor you hate. So the mediator came. Instead of just going directly to talking about the leaves, who leaves is falling in the ground and who should clean it and all this stuff, he started talking to us about our grandfathers because both of us have inherited the house from our fathers who inherited from their grandfathers. Our grandfathers were friends, and so our fathers were friends. He talked to us about this relationship, this very old relationship, and he reminded us that it's not only about us, there's a history between our two families. And our children in the future also will be friends because they are neighbors. Amid this talk, he brought us coffee, which is the main, a very essential thing to use in this type of mediation. In the end, we are not talking about the leaves because we are talking about much deeper thing. It's about our relationships, our children relationships, and how our both family is together in this place for a generation to come. So we reach a conclusion that yes, the tree cause problem between us, and we don't want this tree to be the problem. So we both agreed in the end that we will terminate this tree together. So the main thing is he didn't start with you are the offender, your tree dropped the leaves in your neighbors. But he started with, you are neighbors, your fathers were friends, your grandfather were friends, and your children will also be friends. So you should maintain this relationship, you should continue this relationship and save it. We reached the conclusion that to save this relationship, we should just get rid of this tree so we don't fight over it for a long time. This is the key point in the art mediation. It's about relationship. We can take it as a start to work with each type of conflict. It may not be simple in my own cases, but when you have the ground, you can start build on it according to the people, to the conflict parties, and to the conflict itself. So another thing, important thing that I should mention about mediation in the Arab world specifically, it's honor and safe facing. In the Arab culture, honor is very, very, very important, and face saving is even more important than that. So the mediation is not only about fixing the problem, as we say, but it's about saving the honor of the parties and keeping their face in front of the community. So we don't want to reach a conclusion or a compromisation in the third stage that make one parties feel ashamed in front of their family and of their community, or feel embarrassed and lose faces. But we want reach a conclusion or a compromisation that saves their face and keep their honor in front of their community. Because if we don't do that, we will not be able to restore the relationship between those two parties, and we will not actually have a successful Salah practice or process. Another thing, I'm guessing this is also applied to all mediation all over the world, it's privacy. Mediation is a process that's built in privacy. In private. So when the mediator goes to talk with the parties and ask them and investigate and all of this stuff, they do it in private. They don't just sit in front of the whole family and discuss the problem. No, it's a very private process which help actually give the people the relaxation they need to talk and share whatever they want without fear of the community in order to reach the final step. So I want to talk also about women as peace builder in the Arab world, especially when we talk about mediation on the family level or even these days the professional level and the community level. So women usually have been leading the mediation within families. I'm not sure if it's the same in your city or in your village, but when there's a problem within the family, usually in the Arab world, because the family is very close, let's say, and it's very important. The main person who starts the mediation process is the mother. So when me and my sibling fight together, we usually go to our mom. She is the one who starts to resolve this problem between us. When my father fight with my siblings, my brothers, they usually also will go. The mom will be the main person that mediate. She tried to make everyone calm. She tried to reach a middle ground. She tried to make everyone feel like you are right, but you should see what the other do. So this is one of its traditional, the mother traditional rule and woman traditional rules in the family. And it comes from the nature that women have a very important position within the family, especially when we talk about grandmothers, we're talking about mothers, about aunts. They do have this high position that people respect. So in return, they do have a very important role to play in the family's dispute. Even when we talk about a dispute between, for example, her daughters and their families, and her husband, or between the daughters and her in-law families, and all of this stuff. The modern we talk about these days, women have also been entering the professional legal mediation process more often. So, in Palestine, for example, the number of of female lawyers have been increasing so much. You will find female judges, female lawyers, female mediators, female arbitrators sometimes, especially when we talk about family disputes. But they are also exist within criminal and civil disputes. This goes with the legalization of these practices within the general legal system in the Arab world. So also, um, as I said before, why did women have this big responsibility? Because I think mostly women have, especially when we talk about mothers, they do have this feeling about what their children, their brothers, their sister, their husband need, how they can resolve these problems. So this helped them not only apply it within their families, but in more of professional level. Okay, so why is better to go for mediation than arbitration? But I'm talking from, let's say, the Arab world perspective. First, it's faster. So in court, sometimes it could take years to resolve a money problem. But in mediation, it could take up to from hours to sometimes a week or two. So it's much, much faster. It's cheaper. I am a lawyer, and I know, yeah, when you go to have a lawyer, it's very expensive, and sometimes they ask for a lot of money. So for many people, it's cheaper to go to a mediator, who will, in many cases, will mediate this process for free instead of going to the courts and putting a huge amount of money. It heals, as we said. Court, you go to the court because you want to win this case. But in mediation, it's not about winning, it's about resolving the issue, restoring the relationship, and healing the community to move over this conflict. So that's why in many cases, people prefer to go mediation instead of going to the court. And actually, there is a very common say, especially here in Palestine, say if you want to humiliate a person or torture them, take them to the court because they will never ever reach a resolution or reach a solution because it's keep just delaying, 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 and they will just keep putting money and time without any result. This is one of the main thing or main problem that has been addicted to the justice system recently. So, from all of these stuff, there's three things I would like you to take or to keep in your mind. First, listen. Mediation is about listening. You need to listen to the parties. You need to really listen to them. It's not just you are listening with your ears, but your heart and mind are somewhere else. No, focus on what people say, listen to what people say, and understand what people say. In this case, you will be able to have a better understanding of the whole, the general picture, and not only part of it. Be the bridge. So try to always play the peacekeeper role, the mediator role, in every aspect of your life. So if you're in school or in university and two of your friends fight, try to be that person who will bring them together to resolve this problem. If you're separate fight, try to be that person who can bring them together to find a middle ground for them. Try to play and use these skills in your everyday life, and you'll notice how it becomes a habit of you to actually be the one that close the gap between fighters. Finally, culture. Forgiveness is strength. In the Arab world, we always say the one who forgives is the strongest person because the weak do not forgive. The weak ask for the revenge, but the strong person forgive because forgiveness is strong. So be the biggest, the strongest person, and try to forgive. It's not always going to be easy, but in many cases, when you can do that, try to apply it in your small, let's say, conflict or dispute, and it may become a habit in the future. It may help other people and sometimes, but it's a practice and skills that need to be used various times so you can actually get it and how it is. Finally, I would say that peace is skill we all can learn. So mediation is a skills. It's a set of skills that we all need to, we can learn and we can use in the future if we want to. So I would like to leave you with one question. You can think of it on your own. Try to answer it later when you have the time for that. In your own life, in your school, in your homes, how and where could you use reconciliation or salah? How can you use it? And if you can use it, would you actually apply it? Try to think of this as when you see two people fight, maybe try to see how you can use it and if it's actually possible to use that. So finally, I would like to say thank you for everyone. It has been a pleasure. And if you have any question, I will be ready to answer for it. Thank you.